Peace and love, everyone. It is July 7th in Los Angeles, and I have just hit a milestone nobody thought I could hit. Few people in the world have ever achieved 20,000 subscribers to, how do I, 20. Peace and love. It was the last day of my writing class yesterday. Pretty cool. Made some good progress, did some good work. This class I'm actually going to repeat. We went through the material so fast. I need another semester with it to get more practice with it. So I already signed up to repeat it. Peace and love. I am cutting weight, I'm losing fat, and I'm hungry. My alcoholic roommate has deteriorated somewhat lately. He keeps telling me about fights he gets in on the street. Oh, I know the microwave's loud. And all the problems he's having with his fights, but he doesn't know why he's getting in fights. He thinks a ghost is chasing him, or the government's trying to get him, or the FBI or CIA or the Illuminati, or he was really drunk and he thought I was. And he said some really wild stuff about violence and about my mom. He doesn't know my mom, but he was saying, he was trying to provoke me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna walk outside, go in the hall, because I got what he was doing. He was it was weird. He was trying to fight me, but he wasn't just actually going to fight me. He was trying to get me mad enough. He was trying to give me no choice but to fight him. He was literally pulled his arm back and pretended to throw a microphone at me. I was gonna say microwave. And I ducked. I went, Jesus. She's like, what, bro? I'm not gonna hurt you. And it was it's he's okay, seriously messed up. So I went outside and waited till he left for work, and I'm like, oh, interesting. He didn't chase me outside. He just stayed in here. So he was looking for an excuse for someone to, he was trying to provoke anyone who was around him. I just happened to be here to hit him. And my other roommate told me he was doing that the other week, where he was out with him and he was trying to fight people and stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is so messed up. Protein powder. I'm gonna make 2 servings of my breakfast, one for before my workout, one for after. Speaking of after, SAG-AFTRA is, I think they just voted to authorize a strike, which good for them. Man, these streamers just hate their creatives. They hate writers, they hate directors, they hate actors. They hate everybody. They don't want to pay them anything. Yeah, it's a lot of protein powder for 2 breakfasts. Going through protein powder like there's no tomorrow. And yeah, my drunk roommate, apparently he's getting in fights with people on the street, but he doesn't know why people fight him. He's like, bro, these 2 guys just jumped me on the bus. I'm like, I was only just thinking insulting thoughts to them, but I didn't actually say anything. I'm like, yeah, you probably said something, because why would these two guys just jump you? Granted, it is LA, stuff does happen, but y'all get what I'm saying. Oh, so he was telling me more about people he wanted to fight and stuff, and he wanted to do all this horrible stuff. I was trying to switch him to more pleasant conversation, because he always confides in me. I said, how's it? While he's talking about, dude, I'm going to get these guys, or whatever. I said, how's work, man? He's like, oh, it's really good, man. They treat me well. And I'm like, oh, that's good. You know, that's not like your last job. I know you had problems there. And then he was saying how this woman at his job was really nice when he got uh, beat up by these two guys coming off the bus. And he was heading to work. And then he started crying. And I'm like, good, man, finally. Like, I was glad he was crying. For one thing, stop with this fake persona, fighting, all that stuff. And also, just be real about your pain. So I was like relieved and glad. For one thing, he dropped his aggression and he was being real. And he had some kind of connection with me where I'm like, good. Because the other day he was seriously fixing to fight me by trying to give me no choice but to fight him. Like, he was literally like talking about bloodshed and stuff. And oh, I shed his blood. Am I from the future? And like, he was saying me. Like, I'm from the future and I came to shed his blood and stuff. And he already, you know, violated my mom and did something to her. And then he faked throwing the microphone at me, and I ducked, and he's like, what, man, I'm not gonna hurt you. And I'm like, oh, I see, he's trying to get hit, he's trying to feel pain, because that's what his dad did to him. And so now, instead of, well, it's very hard dealing with an addiction. It's very hard. So I'm not saying it like, oh, he should just do the right thing, you know, get treatment. But instead of it, so it's very hard. It's not an easy thing. So what he's contending with is, instead of getting responsible about the abuse his alcoholic dad put him through, it's like when he gets drunk, everyone in it, or not when he's drunk, all the time, everyone becomes dad. Everyone becomes someone he wants to fight. So anyways, dealing with that, but doing well, doing a lot of writing. I started reading the John le Carré novel, The Night Manager. He wrote a bunch of spy novels, including Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Night Manager, I gotta say, so far, it's a bit dull. Like, I hate this, like writing like 20,000 words about just who this person is and what goes on in their mind. It's like, I appreciate the Sherlock Holmes stories so much more in that there's none of that. Or there's very little of that. It's like a screenplay. It just moves. Heat 2, I read it, it's like a screenplay. It just moves forward. This is like, this guy was like this, and this person judged him for his wig, and this person was rich coming to the hotel, but the manager, Jonathan Pine, this, that, Ponder, oh my goodness, just get moving. It's so pretentious. That said, it is somewhat interesting. I'm hoping it picks up. I jumped forward in the story to see, okay, does this get more interesting? And I saw a line about this guy having to snap someone's neck. I'm like, okay, good. There's going to be some action at some point. Jeez Louise, that stuff, that shit is boring. And tedious. I've never been interested in what someone's thinking. All I want to do is see stuff happen. I want to see action in a story. I added my oatmeal, avena de arena, first, but now I'm going to add my plátano, banana, and then I'll split it in half, put half in here. So I made 2 meals today. We're still being evicted. I talked to the property manager. She was real cool about it. She asked me, hey, do you know what's going on and stuff? And I said, yeah, I know. We're being evicted. Do you know when we have to leave? She's like, no, I don't know yet. It depends on how court goes. I said, I know Frankie's trying to negotiate with the landlord. And she's like, yeah, he's not going to be able to negotiate. Like, it's not just 3 months rent. It's like a year or 2. He hasn't been paying much rent. She's like, just, well, I'll try and let you know, how it turns out in court. It might be a few months still, but she said she'll let me know when she knows that, it's more definitive, the eviction date, and sheriffs will come and stuff. So that was cool of her to give us that heads up, because it's also, it's like, at least about me, like, I'm cool. It's not because I didn't pay rent and all that. And even if I did, so what? It's like, what can she do now other than just try and get us out of there, right? We're living here, so you want to keep us happy. And but regardless, yeah, it wasn't because I didn't pay rent. It's because of Frankie. Whatever's going on Mars where he lives. Okay, mix this up in half. Mix it up in half? No, mix it up and then put half in the Tupperware. Get up early, everyone. Eat well, work out. It'll help your life, help you to be good at being you. I don't want a bunch of sad sack mopes walking around as my fans, my 20,000 disciples, children. Shout out to all my homeless viewers, and you're all the realest of the real. I still think about it all the time, being homeless. Would I be homeless again? All that stuff, just, man, that'll never change about me. Because even when I meet new people, it's like, oh, if it comes up like my past or anything, it automatically sounds weird if I'm being evasive. But I don't want people to feel bad for me, like, oh, I'm dropping this thing. But it can be a little awkward, and, I just got to own it and keep it light. If I say, yeah, I was living in my car for a while, whatever. But that's the thing, it wasn't just a light thing, it was a lot of things. It was a heavy thing too. It was so formative. And people automatically like, oh, sorry, or it's okay, or, you're okay now, right? And, it's so complicated, because being homeless was a lot of things to me. It was everything. It was all at once. It was formative for me. It definitely, like, everything, like, I have to credit being homeless with, like, every, sort of, like, improvement in my life, good things that have come to my life because of that experience. And the discipline I gained while homeless, and the insights and resilience. Gotta get a new phone tripod at some point. It's kind of annoying. Que aproveche, gracias, FLT fans. He estado practicando mi español. Puedo pronunciar mejor. It's hard to learn Spanish from listening to interviews with filmmakers. I just don't pick up much. But when I have the news on, it helps because you get the visuals of what they're talking about and action and motion with the story. And so I can sometimes even learn new words without looking them up because I understand I can piece together what they're saying with the visuals. And, on the news also, they're speaking more clearly than in a regular conversation. I put the other oatmeal, my leftovers, in the fridge. I realized I don't want to put it in the fridge. I want it to be a little bit warmer, or at least room temperature when I eat it. And as far as my alcoholic roommate goes, there's no point in even blaming any specific behavior on him, this, that, or whatever. As far as people with addiction goes that I've been around, he's actually better behaved than many. At least around the apartment. Out, yeah, he keeps telling me about fights he gets in, and I'm like, yeah, you're just fighting people on the street. But anyways, I don't want to get too into it, but it's just kind of, watching him like justify himself to me. Not about drinking. I know, by the way, if you're around someone who's got addiction, it's pointless to yell at them to say you got to get clean or something. It's just absolutely pointless. Don't bother. I've never done that with them. Because when you have an addiction, your whole life becomes about supporting that addiction. Everyone has to be in your life arranged in a way to support it. Even if it just means you may provoke them to get angry at you, so you get stressed out and you have an excuse to say, oh, I gotta drink now because, I just got in an argument. And so that's why I didn't like how he was trying to provoke me into fighting him. Because I'm like, I would just stoop to his level right now. Like, I would lower myself by giving into that. Because there's no real fight to have. There's nothing to defend myself over. And I've dealt with guys like him before occasionally, really bad drunks when I was a bouncer, and it's pathetic. And he keeps telling me these stupid stories. I mean, he just told me this morning, he's like, bro, man, it's all about sound, it's like, The sounds, it's like they come from Mars or something, man. I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. Yeah, thanks, FOT fans. True, yeah, watching with subtitles too. I do want to watch more Spanish language movies. I have a bunch saved that I'm going to watch on Canopy, which is California Library's streaming service. I've watched a few. I saw one. Now I can't even remember the name. It was pretty good. It was about. It was like a late teenage girl who's in a very conservative evangelical family. I forget what country were they in. But basically, she's been dating guys and having sex, and it's kind of this sort of comedy of errors in a way. Her exploring her own feelings and romances, and not being a very good dating partner or girlfriend, and struggling with that on top of the secrecy of her sex life. So that's pretty good. I can't remember the title though. I have it written down. But could have been a little bit more like. I don't like to put any movie down. It was very good. Obviously, it stuck with me for me to think of it now. It's hard to write a movie where you amp up the drama, and make it really challenging for the character to do something. And also, it wasn't necessarily what the filmmakers wanted to do, was to do that. They did this, it was like pretty grounded. She worked in like a TV station. I think it was like, yeah, a conservative evangelical Christian TV station. And I forget what country it was in. Was it Argentina? Was it Chile? I can't remember. It was pretty good. But yeah, when I'm watching news a lot, it's like, oh, I start thinking in Spanish. And also, I just break down the pronunciations super slow. Super lento. Para aprender los pronunciaciones. See, even that came out pretty fluently. Whoa. Tomo mi té. Black barley tea. I'm gonna do more writing today, some reading. I'm excited, even with all the pain I feel. Like, oh man. So I fired my one therapist that I had. She was not good. She was like insecure and basically undermining my points whenever she like didn't agree with me. And it's not that it's a problem to disagree with me or question me. Oh, I just farted. But for her, it was like she was asking me in a way, getting me to indulge her insecurities. When she's like, "Oh, that didn't sound." It was as if it was like a performative. Like, Angelo, what you said makes me uncomfortable. Can you justify yourself to me so that this feeling of discomfort I have is satisfied? And it was like she was asking me to accommodate her insecurities. So like, I don't know about that, Angelo. Like, I'm like, you wouldn't know, period. And I could see her insecurity. I'm like, oh, you need me to coach you or something. So after 3 weeks, I quit with her, but that was even more disturbing than not going to a therapist. In the last few days, because now that I've been out of a job and not had this therapist, even though I haven't really talked much about the sexual harassment I went through and stuff, it still comes up. It'll come out of me if I don't address it. Like last night, I was getting messed up, a little sad about it. And like while I was in my writing class, and I'm like, man, I got to keep my energy up. So, and it's not like I was having a problem in class, but I don't know if I like was a little bit more like, not talkative. Also, I was just tired, so that made me like dissociate a little bit. But I realized, like, oh, this is going to keep coming out of me, like this poison that, draws itself out of me like ink out of a pen. And this morning I woke up at like 1 in the morning and I couldn't really fall back asleep again. I kept lying down. I was good about that. Didn't get on the phone more than a few seconds. But I still feel what this guy did to me, what he put in me. I realize it's always going to be a part of my life, unfortunately, but I have to know how to sort of combine with this in my life, combine good things that by comparison make this much smaller, this negative thing, these other things much bigger and more beautiful and, uplifting, so that this thing's there, but it kind of gets pulled with all this better stuff. And so, yeah, it's always going to be there. I can never get rid of it, I don't think, but things can be overall so much better. But I have to like keep addressing it or talking. It doesn't mean address it on video, but I have to be able to somehow process it. And right now, without the therapy, yeah, that's tricky. It's hard. And well, she wasn't even a good therapist. I mean, good God, it was like disturbing to talk to her and like knowing, oh, okay, she's uncomfortable with another thing. I said like, I don't know about that, Angelo. She even like was giving me diet tips. I'm like, unless you diet like me, you don't even know. Unless you have dieted like me and know what you want to do, like, don't even bother. And it was like the most foolish. It was, she was saying you shouldn't eat before bed because then the food just sits in you. I wanted to say like, yeah, maybe if you eat like shit, it will. Not for me. But of course, she didn't even know what I was talking about. Like, so it didn't matter. And no, it doesn't just sit in you. If your metabolism's right, it does. But see, then if I explained it to her, something else, or like I sort of explained it to her gently about that, she's like, oh, whoa, I didn't know that. It's like, you didn't need to question me in the first place. And especially about the sexual harassment stuff, it was almost like she didn't believe me. So that just shows insecurity when it's like, I need you to justify yourself to me, otherwise I'm not well. I need something from you. I'm like, I don't need anything from you. I thought, good for you if you want to give me therapy, but piss off. Anyways, oh boy, I got not talk about piss off. I got to do the other thing off the toilet in a few minutes. But anyways, that said, I've been through challenging situations before. It's all, part of my way. It's never, I don't think, and never part of anyone's way to be sexually harassed or abused. But the question is, okay, I'm still here. How am I going to address this and find some post-traumatic growth in all this? And that's what I'm doing moment by moment. Even now, just talking about it lightly, it's such a privilege to be able to talk about it and process it to all 20,000 of my fans right now. It's a privilege to be all right, FOT fans, take care. Hasta luego. It's a privilege to be able to work out. Mike O'Hearn said there'll come a day when you can't work out anymore. How profound is that? So to be able to work out, to ride my bike, to be able to speak here, watch movies, write, read. Para tu super papa. Encuentra el regalo ideal para tu super papa. We got coupons here for the grocery store. Por el supermercado. Supermercado. Whoa. And here's my leftover breakfast for later. I'll eat it sometime after my workout this morning. Ooh, it smells good. Got steel cut oats and banana in there, and raisins. And water, protein powder. Polvo de proteína. And Dude, my alcoholic roommate just drinking anytime he's awake. See, it's like nothing to complain about. It's like, well, yeah, of course, that's what he's gonna do. Drinking like 6 packs at 8 in the morning. Hennessy. It's just a cautionary tale, I guess. Take it as a cautionary tale. Parents out there, don't mess up your kids. Don't have kids if you're not prepared to be a parent. Like, what the fuck is the matter with some people? Anyway, sorry. I'm not trying to get too mad. But this guy, the way he described his dad, it's like, yeah, he should have never had kids. Do the responsible thing. Do whatever's going to bring your character to you. So, in the case of someone like that, what's going to bring your character is doing work on yourself, going to some kind of recovery program, batterer intervention program as well. Not anger management, that stuff, I don't know if that works. It seems like a joke. My brother went to it when he was convicted of assault and battery against me the first time. I don't know about the second time. Maybe he was. But batterer intervention, I heard, is much more effective. So I'm like, yeah, this guy's dad definitely needed to do that. And you basically need to make it your number one task in life. That's everybody out there, to be well, have your character, and learn to attract the results you want rather than chase it. Chasing that feeling of intoxication, that high. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, wait a minute, there's no light. Got my beautiful bicycle behind me. Someday I'll want a faster bicycle. I'll keep this one though. I'm not going to get rid of my bike. All right, set this down. Go through a lot of water. And here's the night manager. Again, just started it. John Le Carre. I gotta go. I seriously have to go to the bathroom. But happy 20,000 subscribers to me. And thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for subscribing. Be sure to keep watching. I've been talking with my mom. She's very intent on coming here this summer. We'll see. She, like, her eagerness to visit keeps becoming apparent. Whereas before, she's like, I don't know, whatever. She wanted to come, but now she's like really intent on it, and it seems more like she's making a decision to figure out how to do it, as opposed to before where it was just, for whatever reason, she just let it slip away from her. So anyways, I'm going to get going. Yep, thanks FOT fans. Congratulations to you all for subscribing to me. What a great decision. What a fantastic idea. And tell your friends. Anyways, I'm going to get going. Got to keep writing, reading. I'm going to work out now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.